Welcome, everyone. A little bit of a blabathon here, preparing up to the SM Mastery Conference, June 4th. Here you're going to see a sneak peek into the conference and the experts that are going to be speaking there. We're doing just short little 20, 30-minute interviews to show you a little bit more about who is going to be up on stage and get to know them a little bit better for the basically panelist, lunch and learn, after party at the SM Mastery Conference. Again, that's June 4th. So this is their second year running, which is always a great sign because that means the first one was worthwhile and that there was great feedback. And basically Ricky decided to put it on again. The other thing is, with it being a social media conference, of course, things have changed. 12 months is like an eternity in social media, I think. So always great to see what's new and exciting. And that's what's going to be provided. So for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be talking to the experts. Next week, we have just Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The Thursday, Friday, we're actually going to have panel interviews here on Blab as well. So you'll have an opportunity to meet a few more people. But today, we have special guests. We have Bosco Anthony. Welcome, Bosco.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate you having me here. Thank you, Ricky, for having me at the conference. I'm super excited to be there. And it's really good to just hang out with you guys on social and do this amazing Blab. I think I picked up on it when I was preparing for the social media conference. So live streaming, live videos, live interviews, they seem to be the big trend right now. So it's cool to actually be a part of this.
Yeah, no, and so Bosco's here. He's actually going to be doing our lunch and learn at the SM Mastery. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, Bosco?
Yeah, so Ricky and I came up with this idea sort of last minute because I wanted to pay homage to Ricky. He, as Ricky probably will tell you, I started off my career as an international speaker, and Ricky was one of the first organizers to actually have me speak at his events. And back then, I was building a local name for myself, and Ricky was one of the first godfathers of event conferences and whatever you want to call them that basically asked me to come up and speak for his group. And as time has grown, my brand locally has grown as well as a speaker, and I'm fortunate enough to be speaking for TEDx Stanley Park this year. And so Ricky and I thought of coming up with a very different type of Bosco event where I would be interviewed by one of a well-known culture warrior named David Reeve. He's the author of the upcoming book, which is actually being released, I think, today or tomorrow on culture. It's called Unleash Culture. So David is going to be interviewing me about personal branding. We're going to talk about TEDx Stanley Park. We're going to talk about speaking. We're also going to talk very briefly on what it takes to be a social and personal brand online. As my story sort of took off, Ricky felt it made sense to have me speak at the social media conference. And I think Ricky's going to make a big announcement about the upcoming blogging conference in August as well for both David and I. So stay tuned for that announcement as well.
Excellent. So look at this. It's a sneak peek into the conference, which is a sneak peek into stuff that's coming later on. Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. Sneak peek squared right there. That's awesome. So, Bosco, were you at the event last year?
I followed online. I happened to be doing a speaking event last year, but Ricky's got some amazing speakers this year. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of my old friends. Di Manuel is actually on the Blab right now, but he's got the most interesting internet connection in Squamish. So I'm super excited to hang out with him. My friend Kat Stern, Jonathan Christian, Matt Astefan, I think, is there as well, if I'm not mistaken, and Shane Gibson. So yeah, there's a lot of awesome speakers that are going to be taking the stage. My buddy Lenny Go from Tradable Bits is going to be there as well. So, it's going to be a really good social hangout. A bunch of us are on the speaker circuit. We either see each other at Social Media Camp in Victoria or locally as well. So, if you're in the social media circuit and you're looking to come out and actually get value from some amazing speakers as well, this is the event to be in Vancouver.
Yeah, excellent. So, Bosco, I know I said this to Di as well. For those that may not know who you are, can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Well, I'm an immigrant first, right? So I moved here from Tanzania, East Africa in 2002. And professionally, I'm a digital strategist as well as a storyteller, a speaker. And I basically cover some of the biggest trends in the digital marketing sector, the strategy sector, as well as social media. But lately, my brand has sort of personified into a more human experience. I like to call it that. So I'm starting to move into thought leadership, purpose, culture, David Reeve and I are going to be doing some amazing things with a new brand called Unleashed Dreams, and we're launching that very soon. So we're looking at taking this across Canada as well and bringing it into universities. So the purpose of my talk actually is on purpose as well. So TEDx Stanley Park will give you a glimpse of other side of Bosco that is not so digital, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I mean, you're basically doing back-to-back weekends then.
Yeah, I'm going to be speaking. I was supposed to do 4 weekends in a row, and I basically decided to take this weekend off. There was a conference that I was going to apply for, but I sort of said, okay, you know what, I need a break to get ready for TEDx Stanley Park. But I just came back from social media camp in Victoria. There was over 700 people, some really exciting trends that are happening on social media. I got to talk about one of the big trends. I got to see some big speakers as well, learn a little bit more about Snapchat. So yeah, if you're on Snapchat, Bosco Anthony is the way to go. I've just started streaming on there as well. So social media camp was really cool. I got to see some amazing people as well. But TEDx Stanley Park is this weekend on the 28th of May. And then as soon as this is over, we've got the social media mastery. So it's an exciting time right now, I think, for the Bosco brand.
Yeah, no, it is exciting. So I mean, you already mentioned that you're going to be talking a little bit more, like your lunch and learn, going to be talking more about purpose and storytelling.
Yeah. So my topic is really a different human experience, and it's a common topic. Many of us feel like we're living an average lifestyle. The topic of my TED Talk is called "Feeling Stuck: How to Live Life from Average to Epic, or How to Take Life from Average to Epic." And it's been a really humbling experience going through the TED experience. There's some amazing people that are behind the production of TEDx Stanley Park. There's some Toastmaster experience. There's a TEDx speaker who's a coach. I have 4 coaches, and we've had four human rehearsals. We've had 2 impromptu rehearsals. I've got 1 final rehearsal over the phone on Monday. And there's a lot of work that goes to this. There's, I think, over 14 or 1,500 tickets that have been sold so far at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. When you do these digital talks, you're basically relying on videos and presentations and slides and PowerPoints. This time I'm going in with just the human experience, where the focus is on me, and there's no props, there's no videos to sort of carry me forward. And it's the most exciting yet scariest thing ever, because, you put a lot of hours into it. I took about 3 years to get to this stage, to get to the TEDx Stanley Park. I've had over 50 hours of application time. I've had interviews. I've had probably about 80 hours of rehearsal time to get there, 25 scripts. And what people see is that 18-minute stage time, or the 12-minute, depending on how long your talk is, but nobody really gets to see or appreciate what goes in the back end. So this is a different kind of experience for me. It's a very humbling experience. I'm very grateful for the opportunity, but it's also, a 3-year journey, and it's coming to that final day. And it's kind of strange, because on one end, I'm really glad to see it happen. But the other hand, it's like, okay, I've had 3 years to get here. What's next? You know what I mean? So it's exciting and rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, I think for me, Bosco, it speaks to the caliber of speaker that's going to be at this event, right? I mean, not everybody gets a chance to do a TEDx. And like you said, you decided to take this one weekend off from these 4 weekends. That's and just again, I'm fortunate enough to know you and know that you never really, you don't have a canned sort of presentation that you just kind of tour and say the same thing 20 times or whatever. So I know that of you, and I know that that you're constantly growing, and anyone who's going to be at that lunch and learn is definitely going to benefit from your growth as well. So.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Matt. I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where life has taken an unscripted path for me, and you're going to see a lot of that at the TED event. Anyone that's seen me speak will be very surprised at the human concept of this talk. I'm excited about the rehearsal time, because, I've put a lot of heart and soul into this talk, but it's also, you're going to see that in the interview. We've got 20 minutes. There's going to be some interesting questions that David Reeve's going to ask me, but it's unscripted. It's stuff that is raw. It's stuff that is going to hopefully inspire the audience. But most importantly, it's going to help people understand what it takes to develop and be that personal brand. And a lot of people have this vision, or they have this persona that is almost godlike when it comes to speakers, but we're not. We're human beings. We are travel on the road. We are up till 4:00 in the morning redoing our slides 50 ways from Sunday. We're trying to make sure that we have genuine content. We're hustling for events. We're hustling for business. We're real life people. And so I think the best way of calling this Lunch and Learn is basically calling it the unscripted personal and personal branding experience for anyone out there who's looking to build a personal presence. And we're going to talk a little bit about social media. We're going to talk about what are some of the trends when it comes to personal branding and the importance of how someone can leverage social media to elevate their personal brand.
Sure, that's one question I was going to ask, Bosco, was the difference between, are you going to be speaking to all levels, right? Because I think some people get intimidated a little bit because they're like, I don't know, I might not be started yet. And then others are like, you know what, that's the basics for me. What else do you got for me, sort of thing. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so I've always been a firm believer of catering to the room. So you're going to have three types of audience members. You're going to have beginners. You're going to have people that are sort of doing it, and then you're going to look for, some people are going to look for that advanced sort of takeaway. And my goal here isn't to give 50 million takeaways. I'm hoping that in the 20 minutes that someone's interviewing me, that each person in the room is going to take that one takeaway that's basically going to elevate them or boost them. So I'm going to address everyone in the room, and the questions are going to get tougher in the 20 minutes. So we're going to start off with the basic questions, and then right away there's going to be a few curveballs and things that basically will surprise the audience. But at the same time, it's going to probably challenge them to understand that, it's a human personal experience, but it comes from within, because that hero inside of you is what we're trying to embrace. And that's what social media is all about. It's about conversations. It's about elevating your tribe. It's about leveraging your tribe. But more importantly, it's about understanding who's inside of you and what needs to come out, and how people are going to react to that. And that's what social media should be. Social media should be about three really strong pillars, and that comes down to people, milestones, right? Or moments, as we like to call them, and experiences. And that was the theme of my social media talk, and that's why I wanted to bring this to the blab today, is social media really comes down to people, moments or milestones, and experiences.
I think what's interesting for me is that in listening to the way you've said that, I think there's people that might feel that they're in the top of their game, but that's based on the game that they started with. You know, that the opportunity that you're going to provide is to dig a little bit inside and say, is that really, like you might be at your ceiling, but that's a ceiling based on the fact of the path that you chose. Had you gone on this path, your ceiling's actually up here, right?
Yeah, and it's a matter of perspective, right? So I've been, the whole TEDx experience really has re-energized me. It's made me have a better clarity of purpose and the journey in front, and as well as humility, right? So the problem with speakers sometimes is as you start to grow and your brand starts to you move from hustle to invites, because hustle is when you're looking for events. Invites is when your inbox has 20 people going, hey, can we have you speak at our conference or our meetup, right? And sometimes you get that sense of entitlement, you get that sense of ego, but it's also a trap sometimes, because you feel like, okay, this is where I'm at and I've arrived. And the truth is, all it takes is one humbling experience like TED Talks to realize, hey, even the guys that have game still got to elevate it and bring it. And that's where I was, in an opportunity where I found myself learning so much and learning the differences of a digital event versus a human experience, and learning about speech tonalities and learning about body postures and pauses and how to engage the audience and how to really deliver storytelling from a tone of voice and how to really engage and bring the audience and then capture them out and then bring them back again. So from a speaking perspective, I've got to say the last 4 months have completely changed my outlook on interviews, my outlook on how to present, and even the energy as far as me taking it now. you can't have something scripted. You just have to go with it, and you have to have the ability as a human being to sort of tap into that animation, and that comes with just sparring with the best man. That's the best way of explaining it.
Yeah. It's awesome. I can anticipate you maybe having the first standing ovation for a lunch and learn.
I hope so. I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to bring in the 20 minutes that Ricky's got with me. It's going to start with the video, and I'm going to bring my best game that no one has seen on this day. I'm going to give you guys things that most people don't expect speakers to bring on, and I'm going to bring it for Ricky's event because, again, Ricky is a great community builder, and he's trying to bring people together and understand, the power of social media. And a great, like I said, let's honor the man right here. He's silent right now, but Ricky has grown with me. I mean, we've both grown through the trenches in the last few years, and his events have been getting bigger and stronger, and he's bringing some of the best speakers out there. So I can only see great things for Ricky as well with his events that he brings to the community.
Ricky, any want to rebut to that?
I wanted to thank you, Bosco. I have seen your growth, Bosco, in the last 5 years. The first event you spoke in was in January of 2012, 4 years ago. And,
in Vancouver, yeah.
It was at the Vancouver Public Library. And from there, you've expanded and exploded like crazy. When you spoke there, I was also very disorganized. The event started late, it ended late. There were too many speakers. It was a mess. And I have improved over the last 4 or 5 years, and so have you. And now look at us now in a blab in 2016. We've both grown as individuals, as friends, as business partners, and as speakers. And now you're at TEDx and speaking around the world. And I'm just humbled that you would come and do the Lunch and Learn. I'm excited that we're going to have the world's first ever standing ovation lunch and learn. Who knows? I'm not sure if it'll be the world's first ever, but
but you do have one of the first TEDx speakers actually speaking at your event, from what I hear, Ricky. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I've run events for the last 5 years. Actually, my first paid event was at December 2011, so about 5 years ago, and it's definitely been about 200 events plus in those years. Every year, I'm putting on between 50 to 100 events. And I don't remember a TEDx speaker yet. I partnered with Kieran Sweeney, who's going to be a TEDx speaker. Iman Agai, I've partnered with him, who's going to be a TEDx speaker next week. Isabelle Mercier, she was a speaker at Blog Mastery last year. So a lot of the TEDx speakers have been on my stage in the past. And now it's really exciting to see Isabelle and Kieran and Iman and yourself, who are all speaking in front of 2,640 people at TEDx Stanley Park. It's amazing. And definitely TEDx is or TED, TED.com is kind of like the echelon of events in the world, especially in the entrepreneur space, in the creative space. So, I mean, obviously to get to TED.com and that platform would be amazing. But to get to TEDx, which is second most amazing, is amazing. And to get to get TEDx speakers at my event is very humbling too. So thanks, Bosco. And I know Bosco usually speaks around the world. So whenever you get someone like Bosco, it helps fill the room. So I know at the Lunch and Learn, it's an hour lunch, and people will be going to the food trucks, and we have a caterer on site. We have a lot of creative elements around food, but everyone's going to be packed in the room to hear Bosco speak. And I would love to see that hashtag, standing ovation, standing ovation lunch or something. Let's get that trending. I don't know how we'll make it happen, but I know Bosco can do amazing stuff. Like I was at the social media camp in Victoria, I think 3 years ago, and Bosco, hashtag Bosco, trended above SM camp or social media camp. And if Bosco can trend above the conference, that is impressive.
I've also had bacon trend at the OMG conference, but that was for different reasons as well. And then I had a turkey farm approach me to become an ambassador for turkey as well.
Did you?
Yes, that was kind of a different story.
And you're like, bacon turkey.
Bacon turkey. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, well, so Ricky, again, like kudos to you. You had, by the sounds of it, you've had a lot of pre-TEDx speakers. and now you're going to have a post TEDx speaker. So it's very exciting, and it just speaks to the, again, like I said, it just speaks to the level of people that are going to be on stage and in that room. And you mentioned it a little bit, so I just want to kind of, because people are going to be watching this, make sure that they know on the right-hand side in the chat box. So the tickets are normally $197, and what we've done is we've put a promo code in the chat box for watching this blab. The promo code is BLAB, it's BLAB, and it's going to get you $100 off your ticket, which makes it only $97. And so if you think you could see a TEDx speaker for $97, incorrect. Not to mention all the other people that are in the room, and the amount of, you just listen to Bosco talk about his journey and what he's learned and how he's changed. And, Ricky, it's interesting that you talk about January to 2012. Bosco, that's when we met shortly after the public, the library one was at the digital social media, what was it?
I think it was the strategy conference. I think that was it, right?
Not the strategy, the one before that, the Soho one.
Oh, right, the Soho one. When I opened for Gary Vaynerchuk, yes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's not a bad role. It's not a bad role. So that's the year we met as well. So just amazing to see the growth. I don't want to take up too much of your time because this is the weekend that you chose. I was going to give you kudos for that because not everybody has the power to say no. So good for you for taking some time for yourself and prepping for the next 2 weeks. Any last things that you want to share before I have my last good question here?
Yeah. So, I guess we could talk about trends, or we could save it for the talk. I mean, that's really a sneak peek of what social media is happening right now. But really, the big thing right now is micro content, streaming videos, and basically adaptive content. That's really taking off in the social media world. Make sure you ask me about that. We're not only just going to do a 20-minute interview. David and I are going to stick around for a bit, talk to people, network with the audience members as well. I'm gonna issue a personal challenge because Victoria actually nailed this challenge. So I'm gonna see if Vancouver can pull this off.
Vancouver versus Victoria.
Yeah, so this is a Vancouver versus Victoria. So I got up on stage and I opened up for Social Media Camp in Victoria last weekend, and I said to people, listen, I want you guys to actually be social because you're at a social media conference. So I said, a year ago I showed up, I got up on stage. Barely people tweeted, and it was horrifying because I felt like, okay, we're at a social media conference. Let's get social. So I'm gonna issue the same challenge because Victoria just overwhelmed me, and to the point where even I had to stay up till 4:00 in the morning responding to every tweet because I actually respond to tweets. Yeah. So I'm gonna make a challenge to every single attendee going to this conference. Tweet me anything, questions, comments, whatever you have, bring it. Bring your A game. Overwhelm me completely. # standing ovation, whatever you want to call it. And I will challenge you guys for that weekend where I will be on social that whole weekend, answering your questions, answering your social. If you feel too shy to come and shake my hand because you feel like I'm a robot or a chicken, that's fine. Just tweet me. Tweet me and just go nuts. I want you to break my phone, basically. So don't hack me. Don't get some person in the Middle East tweeting me. I'm asking for you guys to at least give me one question or engage with me at least once. Victoria brought it on. They basically tweeted, since I issued the challenge that entire weekend, I basically needed therapy after I was done. So let's see if
that prompted your weekend off. So right now, book the next weekend off because you'll still be responding.
Basically, so go nuts. I want to see everybody. I want this conference to be social, basically, and that means tweet at the speakers, ask us questions. You got some amazing speakers that are all really engaging on social media. I've also just gone on to Snapchat. God help you guys if you're following me on Snapchat. I just discovered the lenses.
I like that.
So I'm having a lot of fun with social right now, and I hope everybody, Ricky, we got to connect, buddy. So we got to make sure that we are killing it right now on social media. So let's just make this a really engaging conference. Let's do something exciting. The best part is I'm not doing a keynote, so I can do pretty much anything I want in this 20-minute interview. So I I could just go completely crazy. So, and I intend to with David. David's a really good friend of mine. If you haven't met David yet, his Twitter handle is Unleash Culture. He's got a book coming out. You got to keep in mind, David and I have been doing this for a long time. David's been in the industry longer than I have. He's won 40 awards for different companies in Vancouver. He's got some business excellence awards. And just an amazing human being. He and I have mentored students in East Africa in villages that didn't even have electricity. So we went through Google Hangouts and Blabs to get there. And David and I are really excited to be at Ricky's event. And Ricky's got some big announcements for both of us. So that's going to be happening very soon too.
That's awesome. And that's essentially what I'm saying today. Actually, the fact of anyone who's looking to sponsor this event, right, or that is a sponsor, it's not, you're not talking about 200 people just kind of sitting there staring at speakers, right? It is about engagement. You're talking about people that are interactive, they're learning, and they're being, like, from yourself prompted to interact and to hashtag and that sort of thing. That sort of exposure for potential sponsors or the current sponsors there is a way bigger bang for your buck than a typical sort of just stare at some people on stage. So I've been to conferences where people don't even engage in the hashtag. Here's the funny part is you don't even have to bring business cards to conferences anymore. You just got to follow a hashtag and figure out who the influencers are. Do you know that hashtags make stalking cool? You could stalk anybody at this conference who is engaging with the hashtag. Do you know what I mean? Bosco, do you know that you're sharing one of my secrets right now?
Exactly. So you imagine what I'm going to bring to the stage in 20 minutes. So the truth is that the influencers and the influencer currency doesn't come from business cards or emails or any of that stuff. It comes from real life human beings having conversations. And that's what we're going to do at the Social Media Mastery Conference, is have a conversation socially.
Excellent. Well, we're just going to wrap up. I have my one question that I asked that's a little bit more personal.
Yep.
Do you have kids, pets, both, or neither?
At this time, neither. I used to have a lot of fish. When I was in Tanzania, East Africa, I had an aquarium and I was hooked on that. I travel quite a bit. I work a lot. So having an animal would be cruel, I think. And I have a nephew. I don't have any kids. Right now it's great. I'm focusing on my book. I've got a book coming out called Hustle. That's going to be the first book that's coming out next year. And I've got 3 books that are being written right now. I'm having conversations with publishers as well. We're on that journey, and I've got some really cool things happening internationally. I've got a few conferences that have approached me to speak abroad, and so I'm going to be taking the brand internationally there and focusing on that. But you know what? At the end of the day, my fans, the people that hang out with us on social media, those are the big kids we got to take care of, right? So that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna wrap up. So just basically, we have 14 more sleeps until you get to see Bosco live and in person. Like you said, don't be afraid to go up and shake his hand. Come join us at the Center of Digital Media. It's located at 685 Great Northern Way, Vancouver. Don't forget, go to smmastery.com. Enter your code BLAB to get your $100 off, making it only $97 to attend this amazing event. Learn what you need to know for yourself about social media and have your social media red carpet rock star experience. Bosco, I look forward to seeing you, sir. And thank you, Ricky, for jumping on board. You guys have yourself a great long weekend.
Have a great long weekend. Twitter handles Bosco Anthony. Send me a question.
Absolutely. Okay. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
We good?